Hamlet, Act 1. The ghost appears and the drama begins. The story begins on a cold night outside Elsinore Castle in Denmark. Two guards, Bernardo and Francisco, are on night duty, and they are soon joined by another guard, Marcellus, and a scholar named Horatio. The guards are uneasy and speak of a mysterious ghost they've seen on recent nights. A ghost that bears a striking resemblance to the late King Hamlet, the former ruler of Denmark. Horatio, skeptical at first, agrees to keep watch with them to see this phantom for himself. As the night grows darker, the ghost appears, dressed in the armor the old king wore when he fought Norway. The ghost walks past them silently. Horatio tries to speak to it, but the ghost vanishes without a word. Shaken, Horatio admits this is no illusion. He interprets the ghost's appearance as a sign of unrest in the kingdom, possibly a warning of war. The men discuss the political situation. Denmark is on edge because young Fortinbras, Prince of Norway, is preparing to reclaim the lands lost by his father in battle with King Hamlet years ago. They decide that Prince Hamlet, the dead king's son, should be told about the ghost. Perhaps the spirit will speak to him. Meanwhile, inside Elsinore Castle, the new king, Claudius, addresses the royal court. He is the brother of the late King Hamlet and has recently married Gertrude, the dead king's widow and Prince Hamlet's mother. Claudius tries to strike a balance in his speech between mourning the old king and celebrating the new marriage. He sends messengers to Norway to handle the Fortinbras situation diplomatically and turns to young Hamlet, addressing him with forced warmth and urging him to think of Claudius now as both uncle and father. Hamlet, however, is cold and distant. He is deeply mourning his father's death, and Claudius's quick marriage to his mother troubles him. Gertrude gently asks Hamlet to cast off his mourning clothes and accept the new reality, but Hamlet resists. He says that true grief lies not in appearances, but in the heart. Left alone, Hamlet delivers his first soliloquy, a deeply emotional speech where he wishes that suicide were not a sin. He laments the corrupt world around him and expresses disgust at his mother's hasty marriage. "Frailty, thy name is woman," he says bitterly, revealing his shaken faith in women and trust. At that moment, Horatio, Marcellus, and Bernardo arrive to tell Hamlet about the ghost. Hamlet is intrigued and disturbed. He decides to keep watch that night and see the ghost himself. If the spirit is truly his father's, perhaps it has something important to reveal. That night, under a starlit sky, Hamlet joins the guards on the castle's ramparts. At midnight, the ghost appears again. It signals for Hamlet to follow, and though the others fear for his safety, Hamlet goes after it. Alone with Hamlet, the ghost finally speaks. It confirms that it is indeed the spirit of King Hamlet, doomed to wander in purgatory until his sins are burned away. But more importantly, it reveals a terrible secret. He was murdered. "Murder most foul," the ghost says, explaining that it was Claudius, the king's own brother, who poured poison in his ear while he slept in his orchard. The betrayal is monstrous. Claudius killed his own brother, stole his crown, and seduced his wife. The ghost demands revenge. Hamlet must avenge his father's death, but warns him not to harm his mother Gertrude. After delivering this command, the ghost vanishes. Back 2, Hamlet, overwhelmed by grief, rage, and disbelief, is thrown into turmoil. He swears to remember his father and obey the ghost's command. He tells Horatio and the others that he may begin to act strangely, put an antic disposition on, and makes them swear not to reveal anything about the ghost or his behavior. The first act ends with Hamlet fully aware that something is rotten in the state of Denmark. He is determined to uncover the truth and carry out justice, but he also knows that the path ahead will be full of danger, deception, and possibly madness. Back 2, the 37 key themes introduced in Act 1. A not only most of noning defension is command, in corruption and betrayal. The play opens with treachery at its heart, a brother killing a brother for the throne and the queen. Femas Valen and the power of the Grost, and the Patervors acquire of the mater of the cap. Appearance versus reality. Hamlet begins to question what's real. Can he trust what he saw? Should he pretend to be mad to seek the truth? AG as a church is grief and mourning. Hamlet's sorrow over his father's death and his mother's remarriage becomes the emotional engine of the story. The fact of the act of levels or rall begins to bend as some man functions as Hamlet, including into way to incredibly become of nuanger of the path of vision, supernatural and revenge. The ghost sets the play into motion, introducing a quest for vengeance and moral uncertainty.